Yo, let's go, my people. Here we go. I want to talk to you about mental clarity and emotional capacity. Okay, mental clarity and emotional capacity. If you're tuning in and watching this replay, let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to be able to engage virtually, even if you're not here live. And then as people start to come in live, what's up, Scholar? Holla at your boy, talk back to me. You always know that I like to speak with you, to engage with you live. Want to just address sort of the thing that we probably all feel as leaders, as humans in this world, that there's a lot going on in our world right now. Lots of wars, lots of tension, lots of changes, lots of industry disruption. I mean, there's just a lot going on. Like you can feel it. Things are moving fast. Emotions are high. Things are tense. And if you're a person of impact, if you're a person that wants to make a difference, if you're a person that wants to serve other people during times like this, it is of utmost importance that you are at your best emotionally, mentally, physically as a leader, not to have some, you know, heavy mantle of perfection that you have to keep up, but to bring your best as a leader when things are hard. It helps to be at your best to face the hard times that we face, right? And I don't mean hard just in the sense of like struggle, although I know many people are. I know many people that it's not they're not struggling there as much as they are, challenged by the success that they're having. And so whether it's like I'm trying to make ends meet and figure out what my next move is, or like I'm a leader who's just got a lot going on, a lot of decisions, a lot of opportunity, and my mental clarity, my emotional bandwidth is of utmost importance. I want to share with you some things that I teach on stage, and it's something that I wrote here in my latest book, The System of Self-Care. And type self-care in the chat if you've got the book, if you've read the book. I'd love to know how you're liking the material. I wrote the system of self care because I was teaching this all over the U.S. primarily, and I was just noticing that it was very challenging for high performing leaders to have the conversation about mental and emotional health without like it being about depression and suicidal ideations and like mental illnesses. And not that high achievers don't struggle with mental illnesses or anything that I just mentioned, but that the conversation was not being facilitated in a way that helped high performers engage in these mental health self-care practices, if you will, regardless of if they were in a crisis or not, regardless of if they were on the brink of burnout or not, regardless of if they were facing dark, heavy, battles of depression or not. But simply because we know that when we are more emotionally clear, we have more capacity to lead. Have you ever just been overwhelmed emotionally? Like you ever had a lot going on? You're like, man, I just got emails to check. I got people to follow up with. I got freaking my phone's ringing. My email inbox is full. I've got notifications everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. La, 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 la. Like, if you've ever felt like that, type me in the chat. Okay. Type me in the chat. And you know that if that's you, and some of you can relate, I see that. And you know that if that's you, that sometimes it just takes a 15-minute break just to get your mind clear, to just shake it off. Why? Well, you can't think straight when you got all this notifications and all these things going on. Like I'm at home in my home office, and our living room is right around the corner here. And like sometimes if I'm here when my kids are home and they're being loud and they got the TV going and I'm trying to work and I got the live stream and the notifications and my kids are, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. I just need a break. I need somebody to time out, take a, and what happens? We take a break, we take a breather, and we come back and it's like, okay, I have more capacity to lead because I've got more emotional space. Okay. And so our emotional and our mental clarity expands our capacity to lead. Okay. And I respectively titled this mental clarity, emotional capacity, but I'm using the terms clarity and capacity interchangeably because they support one another. The more clear I am emotionally, the more capacity I have. The more capacity I have emotionally, the easier it is for me to get clear emotionally. Same thing mentally. Okay. And so this tactic, if you will, or exercise, comes from page 25 of my book, and it is it's 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 the beginning processes of emotional accounting. Okay, so emotional accounting is when you are taking intentional time to get clear on what emotions you're feeling and how that's affecting the results you experience in life. Similar to financial accounting, where we want to be clear on how our finances are being spent and what specific items and how much money is being spent on these items. We want to have that amount of clarity emotionally. Where is the energy and the emotion being spent? And to what degree? Similar to financial accounting, it matters if you spend $100 of your budget versus $1,000 or versus $10,000. The same thing is true with your emotional clarity. It matters if this is bothering you and taking 20% of your energy, or if this is bothering you and consuming 80% of your energy. And where I find that most leaders get stuck is that they're just not emotionally clear enough. Like they haven't taken the space or slowed down enough to get clear on everything that's bothering them. They just like keep this long running list of things to do in their head. And yes, they got systems and processes and to-do list, but it's just all like living here. They haven't stepped away, taken time to ask themselves, how am I feeling in the midst of all this activities? What's bothering me? What's exciting me? And to what degree do I feel 10 out of 10 excited about these things or 7 out of 10? Are they bothering me 10 out of 10? Or are they bothering me 7 out of 10? Is it urgent as like something that I shouldn't keep kicking down the road and a conflict that I need to address right now? Or is it something that I can address 30, 60 days from now and give myself more space and for more pressing issues that are more timely right now? Like that amount of emotional awareness helps you to get clear. And so we invite you into this exercise called emotional accounting, where that's exactly what to do. You take a moment, you breathe, and you just review. You can just review a portion of your day. You can review your week, however much you need to get data. A lot of times, if you do this daily, you just review your day. Okay. If you haven't done it at all, and what I do when if you know, follow me from stages and what I do live on stage all the time is I'll have people breathe and I'll reflect on the last 7 days, on the last 14 days, and in the last 30 days. And just start to observe what are some of the emotions that we've been feeling. We take a deep breath so that our nervous system can calm down enough so that we can feel the sensations in our body. Feel our shoulders, feel our chest, feel our gut, all the way from the crown of our head to the soles of our feet. Just deep, slow, conscious breaths of feeling. And as you remember your day, your week, perhaps your month, if you haven't done this in a while, just start to jot down the energetic spikes. Where was there happiness of high levels? Where was there sadness of high degrees? Where was there frustrations of intensity? And we just started to just kind of write down, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep, I was frustrated here. Oh yeah, that was amazing. Oh, I got that promotion. Oh yeah. And we just write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. Okay. And then we look at that and we give each one a sort of a score. Like how much is this bothering me? To what degree? Okay. We use a scale. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. What scale we use? I use a scale of 1 to 10, but I'm like, did we switch it to 100 in the book because it was easier for people? No, we still do scale of 1 to 10. Okay, cool. They're like, oh, people 100-point scale is easier. I'm like, 10 always works for me. Anyway, so we give it a 0 to 10 ranking. 0 is like, this didn't bother me at all. Somebody just stepped on my toe. It was no big deal. A 10 is like, no, this bothers me. I'm in like my 7th argument with my spouse. I don't know if we're going to make it. So now you'll have these list of emotions. You'll have a score for each emotion. And man, similar to a budget, it's helpful when you start to know, okay, here's how my money is being spent. Here's the places in which it's being spent. Here's how much is being spent at those places. That's what starts to happen to you emotionally. You're like, here's the emotions I'm spending. Here's the amount of emotions I'm spending. Here's the places that it's going. And here's what I can tell you, 100% of the time, 100% of the time, not 90% of the time, not 80% of the time, not 50% of the time, not 30% of the time, 100% of the time. When leaders do this exercise, they always find things that surprise them. There's always things that they thought were bothering them more, that once they do this exercise, they realize it's actually something else that they haven't allowed themselves to feel as much. They oftentimes see that, oh my gosh, there's this thing that they're predominantly worried about, and oh, the moment that they gave space just to write about it and journal about it for 5 minutes, it diffused the amount of stress it was causing them emotionally. And so 100% of the time, just like when you do your budget and you feel better about what you know you have because you feel more empowered because you know what money's coming in, what money's going out, where is it going, to what degree. The same thing is true emotionally. You know what's bothering you, to what degree, you know what's coming up, you know what's going out. And that amount of emotional clarity, that amount of mental clarity as a leader expands your capacity to lead. And that's what we all need in this time. We need more capacity to lead. Somebody type capacity in the chat. We need more capacity. Can I tell you that sometimes it's not the problems that you face, it is the capacity that you have to face those problems. Somebody should write that down. Sometimes what matters more is not how many problems you have. It's how much capacity you have by which to face those problems. You could have 100 problems and it not destroy you if you've got the capacity. But if you don't got the capacity, you can have 10 problems and it'll take you out. You can have one problem and it'll take you out. But if you got the capacity, oh man, if you got the capacity, if you could find the capacity within you, oh man, it makes the degrees of the problems a lot easier. And so sometimes, what if you're not going to have less problems? What if there's only more in your future? And the only thing that will dictate if you'll be able to adapt with how fast the times are changing, and the only thing that is going to dictate if you're going to succeed and get other levels of opportunity, the only thing if you're an entrepreneur that's going to dictate whether somebody gets you or another other person is because of your capacity as a leader. And I just believe it. Hey, what's up, Keisha? What's up, Pete? What you focus on is what you'll find. Hey, what's up? Yeah, 100%. Okay, so start to participate in emotional accounting, because it's one of the primary disciplines that has helped me as a leader to expand my capacity to lead. All great leadership starts with self-leadership. We as leaders know it is not a debate anymore. It is a predominant agreement that it is no longer about IQ, that we also need EQ and what most are calling AQ, our adaptability quotient. So no longer is it how much do I know IQ, no longer is how well can I relate to people EQ. It is also how fast and how well I can adapt AQ, okay, adaptability quotient. And in order for you to be able to adapt with the times that are being demanded of from leaders, you've got to have emotional capacity. You got to have mental capacity. And that starts with clarity. And the tool I gave you was emotional accounting. So you can go to wherever books are, grab The System of Self-Care. That was some from page, I think, 25 and also 27. There's some stuff on there that bleeds over to that page that you can kind of like go through. I made this book not just to be read, but to be executed, right? Like no high achiever wants to come and just read about mental health and be told to go breathe. Although breathing probably would be helpful. Um, but we want to know what to do. We want to be guided, and so there's worksheets in this material for you to do these exercises. And once you do it once, you'll get in a rhythm of how to like self initiate those exercises for yourself. Okay, so I'm here for you. I'm in your corner. I know that you have what it takes. It's not a matter of if you can do it. It's just a matter of how long you can sustain it. And one of the ways you can sustain it is through emotional accounting. So I hope this helps you with mental clarity, emotional capacity. If you have been following me, know that we made a pivot with our retreat. We're doing private intensive days, one-on-one with people during that time. It seemed to be a need for more specialized, focused, accelerated paths for people. And so we pivoted our strategy to do that. We'll still have our One Mind retreat coming up in November, which is all around strategic annual planning. There will be very limited seating for that. I personally just want to work with 3 people, but we may be able to open up to about 5. But this is if you want a quantum leap in your 2026, I'm going to take you through a spiritual planning process that helps you to have a quantum leap year, which is at a minimum 2xing what you're doing. And I'm literally just going to show you what I've done step by step. So if you want to come out, spend some time, private chef, go out, walk in nature, and plan out a quantum leap year in November, registrations for that, applications are open. And again, I'm thinking like 3 to 5 people at a deep level, because it's a lot. We're talking about a quantum leap year. It's a big process you got to go through that we want to start well before November. So hit me up if that's you. Just type One Mind Retreat or retreat in the chat or in my DMs. And then if you're local or you just want to fly in, I know the 24th of this month, we're having a networking event at the Mullen in downtown Nashville, bringing together groups of entrepreneurs to connect, to collaborate, to share ideas, just networking. I say like there's like chamber networking where it's all like business cards and like quick and like surface level. And again, I love chamber. I'm not like bashing the chamber. I'm just saying like there's that style of networking. There's deep style that's like retreats and like the beyond the table dinner that we hosted. That's like, oh, no cell phones, disconnected. Like all we're talking about is vision and values. Know what you do. And then there's like somewhere in between. This is going to be a somewhere in between networking event. So if you're like, sounds dope to me, I want to be in the room, whether you want to fly in from out of state or you're local, you just want to tap in, just type networking or type event, and I'll get you the info. If you're on Instagram, it's like one of the links in my bios. Seeding Greatness Nashville, I think is the name of the event. So love to see you there. Lots of stuff cooking, y'all. And we got pretty special announcement coming up soon for you. So stay tuned for that. All right. Love you. Peace.